Hello and welcome back to another episode of my MotoGP 23 career mode. Now if you haven't seen my community post from earlier today, you might be wondering why Jerez is in the thumbnail rather than Kota. And unfortunately, that's because the footage that I've got for the America's GP is completely unusable. I have all of the audio, but I don't have any of the video. When I've recorded it, the video has not recorded properly. It's just literally the first frame of the video stretched across the whole thing, which is absolutely awful because it was a fantastic race. We actually qualified 25th because of the simulated times, and we managed to fight our way through to 4th place. It was a really, really good battle, 100% difficulty as well, so it was a pretty high difficulty. Again, it does seem to be a bit inconsistent, but I'll probably put the results screen up now. Fortunately, I do have the little outro section because usually I will record basically everything, then go take the screenshot before I head back to the career hub, because of course I have to do it in the replay of the race. And I stop recording when I take the screenshot so that I'm not recording like 5 minutes of useless footage. And fortunately, that last video clip is okay. So I actually have all of the results. So you can see I came 4th place there, 8 seconds behind. We had a great battle with some of those riders you can see around us, like Kelso, Masia, Artigas. And we were actually closing up a lot to Holgado at the end, but unfortunately we lost a lot of time battling in the pack. In the Riders' Championship, it actually moves us back up into 4th position, 37 points off of Ortola, so we really are falling back from him now, but 2 good races out of 3 isn't bad at all. We're tied with Artigas for 5th position, and in the Teams Championship, we moved up to 6th place because Intact GP had a pretty poor one, with Sasaki actually falling off in the race. First AI crash I saw in a race, actually. But of course, with us being 4th in the Riders' Championship, it meant we've actually beaten Ricardo Rossi, so we have successfully achieved the objective there. We also had the objective to beat Jaume Masia in this particular race as well, so we did manage to achieve those. I'll probably just cut to the outro that I actually recorded at the time now, just to show you what was happening in the career hub, and then we'll just jump straight into the next event. So we gained 2,700 RP there. Actually, not a lot. We only gained 900 for doing both of those 2 turning points there, and then we got 1,800 for actually just beating the team objectives. So to be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed by that one, but it seems like we are getting a new turning point. What's it going to be this time? One step at a time. So again, we have to beat Ricardo Rossi, but this time it's just purely in a race, one step at a time. Biker's performance is convincing Honda. Finishing the race in front of Ricardo Rossi might result in additional support from the manufacturer. So maybe we will get a bike upgrade, although it does seem like you don't get it till the summer break, so we're going to be stuck on a pretty poor motorcycle for basically the whole season. Well, obviously half the season, but it's going to be a big chunk of the season, so it's going to be quite hard to come back from. But we've got a couple of messages on the social media feed. I can see Artigas, so he's probably going to be very happy with us in that one. Masia saying, there's nothing worse than making a bad impression. I only hope that Biker doesn't think they can steal my fans from me. Well, we are going to be nice to Masia because he is a Honda rider, so I do want to try to improve our relationship. So this time it went well for me, and I must confess that having the crowd against me spurred me on. I'm looking forward to racing here again, so we'll say that one. And we give him a relationship boost, and there you go, he's actually up into green now. So Masia actually likes us based on that one. But we've got Artigas then here as well. The race in Texas was tough. We finished behind Biker, but we know we're able to close the gap, and we'll try to already at Jerez. So we'll see what he's got to say there. It's a good race. We need to focus and keep this gap over the next few races. And then as I had no doubts I'd leave you behind. We've built on the work from the last few weeks, and we're moving well. We'll carry on with it next weekend. We'll just be nice to Artigas as well. Just butter him up a little bit there. So that was pretty much the America's GP then. We've got nothing else to do except to head into the Spanish Grand Prix now. Hopefully we can carry some of our momentum from a 4th place finish in USA into this one. And hopefully it is a good race just like that one was, because I really, really am upset about this. I mean, it's just something that happens when you do YouTube. This does happen from time to time. The footage can go a little bit awry. It has happened to me in the past, but just not for a very long time. So we may as well head straight into the weekend now then. You can see myself and Ricardo Rossi. Actually worth noting that we have got some mods on now. We finally got mods working, so we have actually fixed Ricardo Rossi's helmet. We've also fixed some of the other helmets of some of the other riders, and got some of the rider pictures as well. I had covered that in the last video, but of course, since that footage is unusable, I thought it was worth mentioning again. So we may as well head into this one now then. Hopefully we're on the pace. So finally, the simulated times kind of haven't done us over here. We're actually top of a practice session, I've tried fast forwarding again, this is what I normally do, but this time it just didn't seem to do it, so that's really, really good. I'd imagine maybe it's a track specific thing, maybe Jerez times are actually correct, but I'm pretty happy with that one. We are top of this session, so hopefully we should be going straight through to qualifying 2, and we really do need that helping hand because actually it is wet. It's wet in qualifying and in the race as well, so we really do need that little bit of a boost to put us a bit further up the grid. But it's good to see that we have got good pace in the dry at least. Maybe that can transfer over to the rain. We'll have to see, because in the past the AI have been pretty overpowered in the rain, and they did seem pretty overpowered in Malaysia in the rain, but that was my first day on the game, so in fairness, maybe the gap isn't quite that big. But I guess we'll find out when we head into qualifying. So we were still top after all of that then. Coming through Q1, we've got Filippo Farioli, Dennis Onshu, Colin Vaya, and Kaito Toba. Ricardo Rossi was already in this session, so he is still going to be a rider that we've got to contend with, because of course we do need to beat him this weekend to try and secure some better components for later on in the season. But we may as well head straight out onto the circuit. I was feeling pretty good here in the dry, to be quite honest, and maybe that will help us in the race, because in the race it's supposed to start off wet and then transition to cloudy, so it could very well dry up, although I would say that would be more of a sunny transition. Almost high signing there immediately as soon as we get control of the bike, because the AI put us on the curb, and then obviously our low traction control in the rain is not a great combination. But I'm remembering what it was like in Malaysia now since I've got on this. The bike is sort of moving a lot off throttle, and that was the difficulty really. You can see Joel Kelso has just rode past us like we were standing still. Again, we don't seem to have a wetsuit, which is bizarre, because if you actually go into a quick race and set it to wet like this, you actually do get a wetsuit. So I don't really know why that particularly happens, that in career mode you don't get one, but either way I guess it's not too important. I'm trying to go around the outside of Kelso here. It was actually remarkably easy. I guess it's because it is on the brakes after all. Oh, the bike is really trying to throw me off though. I'm trying to use the low traction control because it's just going to give me that little bit more power, and to be honest that's exactly what we need. We need the most amount of power we can get out the bike, because that's where we're losing a lot of time, is onto straights and sort of down straights and stuff, so it would be pretty handy to have a bit more power. I mean, obviously through high speed corners we're losing out a little bit as well, but I am just getting better at taking them with this new physics model, and I'm really getting used to it, and actually not minding it so much now. Like when they first got the game, it was kind of annoying me a bit. I don't know where Kelso's going there on the green, but it was really annoying me when the bike was picking up. But now, to be honest, yes, it's a little bit frustrating when I'm trying to get on the power, but I'm starting to get used to it. But this is going to be a pretty difficult lap, it must be said. Although, to be fair, we've kind of kept with Kelso, and he's not too bad in this career mode so far. In this game, his AI is actually pretty good, so maybe he could try and tow us around a little bit, but we are losing a lot of time sort of through the corners because the rear and the front are both sliding a lot. So he's definitely pulled away from me a bit through some of these corners. I was kind of on him till about turn 4. We lost a bit of time through then we lost a lot of time through Cito Ponds. We should gain it pretty much all back on the brakes. Thought we were going to have to send it on him then because we were closing up so much. That's the thing, the AI are just so weak on the brakes. So yeah, you can see Kelso has dropped us by quite a lot on this lap. 56.9 is the pole time by Moreira. 57.8 by myself. So yeah, it's not quite good enough, is it? And we've had a crash as well, which doesn't help things. The AI just have such a big advantage in the rain. To be honest, we're actually in front of Ortola, which is a surprise, because we're a decent amount off. We're almost a second off the pole position time, and you know that'll only get faster as the session goes on. You can see we're 8 thousandths ahead of Ricardo Rossi as it stands, so maybe my time is not that bad after all. Maybe just Kelso and Moreira are a bit of a step ahead of everybody else. Moreira was on for a better time then, but he just went in the pits, which is a bit bizarre, but quite helpful, because at least he didn't improve any further on. We'll try and go for another one on this lap, see if there's anything we can do. So we have improved by a decent amount on this lap, half a second. You can see I actually had a red first sector, although we lost a little bit of time on the run to the line, but that's P5. So that is pretty decent there. Only 4 tenths, less than half a second off of the top time now, so that's a bit more comfortable. At least it shows the pace is potentially there, especially when it gets to the race, when you've got a bit of a marker in front of you. Although again, that could be all destroyed when they just ride through me. You can actually go out on the dries, which is quite interesting. I mean, I don't really know what I expected, because of course it is flag to flag in this game, so you can actually sort of use, well, it's actually dynamic weather, so you can actually use whatever tyres you want, but it did take me a bit by surprise there. But I think there could be a little bit more time on the table here. We did improve by a decent amount, and again, I've not done much wet running in this game, so you'd imagine that I keep getting faster and faster. And there's a rider coming through now, but I think that might be... Oh, it's Holgado, the current pole sitter, actually. So come on, game, give me control. Go, go, go. I'll try and chase him down. Via has just gone pole position. I'd imagine that's because some of his time was simulated there, because he's quite a bit quicker than everybody else, it seems. And really, it'd be a surprise if he's on pole position, so I'd imagine that some of the times that might come in the next minute or so might be a bit glitched because they perhaps simulated the first couple of sectors whilst I was in the pits. But we are just going to get 2 laps then. It's going to be pretty close, but we are going to make it to the line with over 2 minutes to go. And obviously the pole position is 55, our times are 57, so there is enough time for us to get around twice, provided we don't crash or anything. So we're literally a tenth off of our time there, so pretty close. So it seems to be about the best I'm going to get. But let's see if we can just improve on this last lap. The checker flag's out, so we should be safe in terms of the times. So we were on a good lap, but it did seem to fall apart as we went round it through the last corner. Ran pretty wide there. But it seems like we're going to be starting 8th place here then. There are a couple of AI behind us, but I'm hoping there won't be a whole field of simulated times. But we're sure we'll find out once we cross the line. So we got pushed down to 13th place, and there definitely wasn't 5 people still on track behind us, I don't believe. So that does seem a little bit unfair. But in fairness, it's a lot better than where we've qualified most weekends. It's like the 2nd highest qualifying we've ever had. And we've out-qualified Ricardo Rossi, so we can't really ask for too much more than that one. I'm happy that the pace actually does seem to be there relatively, though, in the rain. I was a bit worried that we would get left behind, but we're actually not too far off, which is a pleasant surprise when it comes to the MotoGP games. But we've got Colin Via then on pole position, the first pole of the Dutchman's career. Helped a little bit there, I think, by the simulated times, but whatever. He's going to take it anyway, and it'll also probably help me in my championship charge. I know I'm not technically in the championship hunt, but I suppose I'm not too far away, and of course we are aiming to win the championship, so any help we can get from Via there, maybe holding up the leaders, would be very, very appreciated. But we may as well head straight into the race now then, and I'll see you down on the grid. So here we are then, down on the grid for the Spanish Grand Prix. And of course, like I said, it is raining for the race. And as you can see in the top left of the screen, it's starting off wet and it's going to dry up. Now, whether we actually have to come in and change tyres, I'm not too sure whether we'll end up having to do that or not. Obviously, it depends how the weather develops. If the race starts wet and it dries up, you can, of course, come in and change tyres. You can't change bike. So I don't know how it'll be approached in the game. I don't know whether they will just throw a red flag in the game. I hope they don't. I hope it is genuinely a pit stop that you can either opt in or out of. And if that does happen, I suppose it depends on where we are in the race. If we're struggling a little bit, maybe I'll just risk it and stay out. But if we're more towards the front, maybe I will just try and match that AI so I don't end up losing out. But we may as well get this race started then. Let's see what we can do for 13th and make sure that we beat Ricardo Rossi.
The riders are lined up on the Jerez grid. There doesn't seem to be any problems and they're all ready to go. A few seconds now and the lights will go out.
So there's Via then on pole position. Moreira alongside him. Holgado rounding off the front row. So it'll be interesting to see how he fades throughout the race. But the lights are on there, waiting for them to go here for the Spanish Grand Prix. Lights out. And away we go. And it's not been the best start off the line. We have been jumped already by Kaito Toba. Rossi's a few places down the grid as well. I thought Rossi was actually right behind us, but he wasn't. He was obviously a few places further back. And we've made a bit of a mistake through turn 1. I tried to hang it around the outside, but I've cost myself there. And we've now dropped behind Ricardo Rossi. Once again, back around the outside of him, though. And this time I think we might have pulled it down. I'm not too sure. I think we actually have this time. We try to hang it around the outside. We've got past him, so up into 6th deep. So it's not been a good start. We've actually lost a few positions, so kind of the opposite of what happened in Texas, although of course you guys wouldn't actually have seen the start from that because of the issues with the recording, unfortunately. But Ricardo Rossi gets back up the inside of us. We go back up the inside again. Ricardo Rossi now through the Cito Pons corner, and I must say, with all the spray and with all the engines, it is difficult to try and find the right gears and lines to use through all these different corners. But I think we've got that past Rossi now then, so up into 16th once again, and we're going to try and pass a few into the Danny Pedrosa hairpin. And now we're up into P13. Although as quickly as I did that, we're back down to 15th again with Onchu and Asman getting back through. Asman been doing a little bit better the last couple of races. And once again, Ricardo Rossi comes through now. And now Munoz comes through as well. So we really are starting to slip back. And now I've got Yamanaka at the inside. So we are just dropping. We are dropping through the order, unfortunately. And back at the inside we go now. Bertelli tries to hang it around the outside. But again, we're just not going to get this one stopped. And we're just dropping like a stone now. We're passed by Rueda. We're passed by Agi, I think that is. Yeah, it is Agi. Because they've put him as Sorio Agi this year. which I think is his full name, but on the MotoGP graphics, he definitely goes by Agi, so it's a bit more confusing. Now we've got David Alonso on the inside, so we are just dropping like a stone, and we need to try and fight back because we have to beat Ricardo Rossi here. It's not an option to lose to him. Maybe now we've done a lap of the race, it will calm down, but we have had a pretty awful start, down 7 spots on this first lap, and considering that we were actually up on our starting position for a brief period of time, it really was not a good one. Basically after the break is over turn 1, it went downhill, and up the inside goes David Alonso. We just cannot carry the quarter speed that his AI can carry, and we're just dropping further and further back. I was hoping that after qualifying, we've proved that we'd sort of got the pace, but it doesn't seem to be that way at all. The AI is riding past me, and it might be one of those situations where, to be fair, my lap times are not too bad, but as soon as I actually start battling them, they just ride at the inside of me, and then they just start holding me up in my good sections. Although we've re-attacked a few of them, back up into P21 again, but P21's not the position we want to be in. We want to be higher up. Up the inside goes David Alonso again, and for Sato. And now we've got Salvador trying to cut the inside. We are just going to end up dropping towards the back with Carrasco once again, just like we did in Sepang. But we're up the inside of Salvador, but it's just not enough. We're not going to be able to pass him there. So 55.6 for Diogo Moreira. So the AI do genuinely seem quicker in this race than they did in qualifying, which isn't great. I've done a 58 flat. So that's absolutely awful. We're 6 seconds down already, and it's literally only been 2 laps. Fanati comes through now. Fallon through now as well. Carrasco is next, then it's Ogden, and then we are literally in last position. Looks like we are just going to drop down to last. I don't know what... Carrasco, every time we're on track with Carrasco, she just rides into me every single time. On the inside we now go off Fanati once again, so we're back up into 24. So that's basically our only points on the track where we can attack her into these hairpins. But we're powerless everywhere else because they just have such an advantage over me. It was right around the outside. They got so much more grip. I really hope it stops raining, but it just doesn't. When it says it's going to stop raining, it just doesn't stop. So, well, it didn't last time, and to be honest, we're on lap 3, and it's still raining heavily, so it's not going to dry up before the end of the race. You're not going to swap tyres, so we've not even got that to hope on. And we've been overtaken again by Fallon. It's just so nonchalant at this point. They're in a different race. They're literally in a different race. The AI are unbelievable in the rain. We actually have a wetsuit on in this session, I've just realised. Whereas in qualified, I'm sure we didn't, so that's a bit weird, isn't it? Got towards the line, then I think we're just going to do our personal best up at 57, but it's still not going to be good enough. We are just so much slower than the AI. 5 seconds behind Ricardo Rossi now. This is awful. There goes Ogden, so we're officially down into last position. But you know what? I'm not losing to Ogden. I'll lose to anybody else, but I won't lose to Ogden. We've got to beat our teammate, and the way he's spoken about us on the social media platform, we can't be losing to him. I'm trying to get these out of Carrasco as well, just kind of leaving Carrasco out of the way. I mean, the AI just bashed me out of the way, so I'm not too bothered about it. We are now finding some pace. We're half a second under, so it just shows when we're not being constantly attacked, we can do something, but it's this pure Yamaha syndrome, this. I just cannot ride against the AI in these conditions. I could probably do the times on my own. I've got a trial of its warning because I just got edged out by Ogden. But when I'm actually against the AI, I just cannot ride the same lap times. I think it actually has stopped raining now, though, by the looks of it. Looks like it's now just wet, so there is still half the race. Maybe this could dry up and it could fall back into our hands yet. Although I think our race in terms of beating Rossi is over because we're 7 seconds behind him. Yeah, this one is definitely scripted to dry up because the track is just drying up so much everywhere. So I think I know what our strategy's got to be. I'm staying out come hell or high water. It's our only chance because we're so far behind. It's got to take some sort of gamble. Unless we risk it and come in early. But I'm not sure how the procedure works. I mean, actually, I'm really hoping that it is a red flag situation now. I know that's not how it is in real life, but I'm hoping that's how the game handles it, because that would suit me fantastically. Provided we don't get much further into the race, obviously. But it's definitely drying. It's drying so much. My front tyre is really overheated now, which is obviously always the thing for me. But especially now the track is... well, the track is virtually dry at this point. I really hope the AI do come in and change. I need them to. If they're not coming in, I'd maybe chance it myself. Try to get the jump on them, but... yep, it's red flag, session interrupted, return to the pits for a bike change. So, this isn't technically how it works in Moto 3. You usually just come in on your own accord. As far as I'm aware, anyway, I'm pretty sure that's how the rule goes. Because I remember Argentina 2018, that's how it worked out. A lot of guys sort of started on the wrong tyre and had to come in. I believe Indianapolis 2014 was one as well in Moto 3. where this happened, if I'm not mistaken. But this is the lifeline we needed. We've got a few laps now to make the difference in the dry conditions. And we had the pace in the dry. We actually did have the pace. So this is our chance. We've got one more opportunity. I don't know how many laps we actually had to go, to be quite honest, but this is it. We've got to try and take this opportunity.
The riders are lined up on the Jerez grid. There doesn't seem to be any problems, and they're all ready to go. A few seconds now, and the lights will go out.
So then Moreira on pole this time, Holgado alongside him, Ortola ran out the front row. So it is the three that have been dominating the season so far, but the lights are waiting for them to go out here for the restart at Jerez. The lights out and away we go. It's a 4-lap dash. There is still a bit of spray you can see on the track, but we've got to make the absolute most of what we've got here down towards turn 1. What a start we've had. We're already up into the points. There's Ricardo Rossi right in front of us already. As if we're up into the points, but into the top 20 is what I actually meant to say. And we're stuck on the outside curb. I don't know how we've got away with that one in the rain. We've been hit a little bit wide by Yamanaka there. But here we are then. Yamanaka ahead of us. Ricardo Rossi just ahead of him. Wow, there is so much more grip even with the spray still coming up. Agi is right behind us. But this is it. This is our opportunity to still beat Ricardo Rossi and actually pass this turning point. I thought it was all over after the first couple of laps, but we've been handed the biggest lifeline we've ever had. And down towards the Dani Pedrosa hairpin, I'm going to make it count. We're going to easily pass Yamanaka. We should be able to pass Asman and Ricardo Rossi on the brakes as well. And there we go. Up into P14. We've passed the Italian. We're up into, obviously, P14, like I've just said. Up into the points. I've got to watch out for the wheelies. Obviously, the power delivery seems to be so much more. Obviously, so much more grip. We've still got the wetsuit on, interestingly enough, so it seems to carry over from session to session. So I think maybe because I was in a dry session before, that's why I didn't have one on. And then obviously I've gone from a wet to a dry, so that's probably, again, why I've still got the wetsuit on this time. But I'm interested to see how high up the order we can actually get. We've got Rueda in front of us. Then there's Via, obviously the pole sitter from earlier on at the inside of Rueda. So up into P13 now. We should be able to get Via up into 12th. Then Stefano Neppa's ahead of him. Then Farioli. Then I think it's Sasaki ahead of them. Or of course it is because we've just passed Via. So it's the other Husqvarna rider. Via hits us up the back. But you know what? We're not gonna get too bothered about it at all. Down towards turn 1. Here we go. Around the outside of Stefano Neppa. And Neppa actually hangs it in there. But we should get him on the run into Michelin. And we're up into P11 now. Farioli is next. Farioli had a pretty good run out of the Cito Pons corner, but we should again pass him into Dani Pedrosa. So up the inside we go of Farioli. Can we try and get Sasaki as well? We'll squeeze up the inside of Sasaki. He's kind of left us the space. Pick up the power of wheeling a little bit of contact with Sasaki. Just trying to get the power on so aggressively. I did a massive wheelie trying to overtake him, but I think he's probably got it for now because I think they are genuinely better than me through this section of the track. Although, to be fair, I am giving him a bit of trouble through there. And here we go. The inside is Angel Nieto, not quite. I thought about it, but just wasn't going to quite work. And we've picked up another track limits warning. Apparently our one from earlier on in the race still counts, which I don't think really would be how it works, but oh well, I've been given, again, something else that's probably not how it should work. We tried to pass Sasaki there, but just not quite able to do it. We should be able to get him down towards the final corner, though. We're up into P9 now. Toba up next, then it's Masia. Then it looks like it is Joel Kelso, although Sasaki hit him up the back just like his teammate did on the previous lap, but I was going to say we should have him into turn 1 anyway if he pulls back alongside us. But no worries with that, we'd already got him anyway. And into turn 1, we're closing up on Toba and Masia just in front. Toba's actually passing Masia, and we might want to get the pair of them down towards Michelin. It's going to be risky on the inside. We're not going to quite pull that one down, unfortunately. So no, we didn't actually pass either of them, but we might want to hang it around the outside of Masia. We have indeed, so we've passed Jam and Masia. Next up is Toba. That's risky through turn 4. Yeah, I was never going to quite pull that one down, unfortunately. I'm just trying to make as much progress as I can because obviously this is the penultimate lap of the race. So I'm not going to have many more opportunities to make passes. And I see a top 5 on the horizon there of Tatsuki Suzuki. And 2 top 5s in a row would be amazing in this career mode. And here we go, down towards the Dani Pedrosa corner. A double overtake. We've been hit on the back by Joel Kelso, but fortunately we've managed to keep on the bike. So Suzuki's just ahead. I can see the podium actually, but unfortunately we are just going to be out of reach. I think, to be quite honest with you, if the weekend had been dry, I think we could have fought for the podium and for the win again this weekend. Here we go then, down towards the last corner. We should be able to easily pass Tatsuki Suzuki. Yes, we have. So up into P5. Artigas up next, then Ortola. To be honest, I think a couple more laps we might have a chance of beating them. I am watching my fuel because I haven't got a lot left. I am considering maybe going into power mode 2. I think we would be okay, but I'm not really sure because the fuel indicator is a bit glitched. It says I'm 6.5 laps down because, of course, there was the red flag, so I think it's been thrown off a little bit. It's still probably estimating the full race distance, you see. We are so close to the back of Xavi Artigas to go down towards the final corner. We could almost have half a look on him, but it's just not going to be enough. If we had another lap, we'd easily be on the podium. If this race was dry, I'm pretty sure we would have won it. But on towards the line then, P5 here, after an amazing recovery. That race put me through the absolute ringer. That is unbelievable. We had every emotion during that one. I was really elated with my qualifying position because the simulated times and in the rain, I was super happy. The start off the line I was pretty happy with. Then, immediately as we broke for turn 1, it all started to go wrong. We ran wide, we started losing positions. I was complaining about the AI, saying they've got too much grip in the rain, which is true. It's all true, everything I said. I was praying for a red flag, or just praying for the rain to stop so something could happen. The rain stops, we get our red flag, and we get our way up to 5th from the back of the grid. Well, we earned that. We certainly earned that one, and we easily would have been on the podium with another lap. So in the Riders' Championship, then we actually lose a position because Artigas did beat us, and we're now 42 points behind Ivan Ortola, so he's got almost double our points, but it's still been a pretty good weekend for us. We're only behind, really, the top 4 in the championship. Holgado actually closes up quite a bit to Ortola because he did struggle a little bit in that one. Moreira only 14 points off as well, so it is pretty close with those guys at the top, just a bit further back to the rest of us. As for the Teams Championship then, we stay in 6th position, but there has been a change for the lead. Red Bull KTM Tech 3 take over from Angelus MTA. But there you go then, guys. Definitely the most exciting race of the career mode so far. Well, obviously, we've had a red flag previously, but this time we actually had a restart. We had a sprint race, basically, to the line, and we definitely made the most of it. So I'm really happy with that one because we fully deserved the position we got. We probably deserved that podium that we were ever so close to, but there is always the next round because Le Mans, I do have a sneaking suspicion, will be a fantastic track for us because it was a really poor track for the AI last year, and considering the pace we've had at some of these other tracks where they've not been the strongest in the past, it might carry forward. But we'll head back to the career hub now then, see what we get, because of course we have completed yet another turning point by beating Ricardo Rossi. So we gained 2,500 reputation that time, so 750 as a bonus for getting the one step at a time and extra development, and we got 1,750 for, of course, finishing in the top 15. So once again, we've got the key to success. Finish in front of Jaume Masia in the standings within 4 Grand Prix. So the French GP, Italian, German and Dutch. So it does seem to be a bit of a merry-go-round in terms of, okay, I've beat Ricardo Rossi, so now I need to beat Masia. I guess Masia is the top Honda rider, so I guess that's probably why. I know they were talking about like, the manufacturer rider, so maybe Masia is the manufacturer rider and Rossi was sort of the guy we had to beat before that. Not too sure, but we have got a message on the social media feed from Scott Ogden. I thought my work would be appreciated here, but instead everyone thinks that the team is meeting the objectives only thanks to Biker. That is completely true. That is so unbelievably true because you have finished last in virtually every race. But I might try and be a bit nicer to him just to improve my reputation with Honda so that maybe we do get some more upgrades. Because again, still not sure how this career mode works. Don't want to shoot myself in the foot by just being mean to Scott Ogden. Obviously, he's been a bit of a brat so far in this career mode, to be quite honest. But sometimes it's better to just suck it up and be nice. So what have we got? It's a good period. Now we have to continue to work hard in all aspects and do great races one weekend after another. The other one, though, is fantastic. I talked to your chief technician. He says that he would be happier to see you on track than glued to your phone. Really, we could throw some shade there, but I think we'll just be a bit nicer to him, see if we can improve his reputation, bring him back up to at least neutral, purely just for the Honda reputation, to be quite honest. And we may as well go have a look at the bike development. So we've got neutral for the relationship with Hondas, and we've got, it seems to be +8 different development packs that we're going to get in the summer break. So in a few rounds' time, we should actually get some development points. And I think that's why this Masia challenge goes up to the German Grand Prix, because that's probably the halfway point of the season. But I'm quite happy with that. I must say, when it gets a bit interesting, I get to come from the back. I always do prefer those races. So I hope you guys did enjoy that one as well. Again, I'm really sorry about Kota, but nothing I can really do about it. If the footage goes funny, the footage goes funny. I can't use it because there was no actual video to go with. There was the audio, but what use is that? It doesn't really show you what's going on at all. So yeah, unfortunately, of course, we couldn't show that one, but hopefully we did make it up with probably an even better Spanish Grand Prix, to be fair. So I hope you did enjoy that one. If you are new to my channel, please do like the video, and if you're not already, please do subscribe, because there's going to be plenty more MotoGP 23 content coming your way on this channel. Career mode, I've been asked to do some flag-to-flag gameplay, some more live GP, just regular online lobbies as well, because I know you guys really love those videos. We've not been able to do them for a while because of the state of the game. Game experiment videos as well. Now that we've got mods, we can do that. So there's plenty of content coming your way. So if you do like MotoGP 23, this is the place to be. But like I said, I hope you did enjoy that one. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next one.